Hey guys, it's Anna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with another book review, and today we're going to talk about A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is the first book in an adult fantasy trilogy. I originally, when I did my May TBR video, I thought it was a young adult book, but apparently it turns out that it's actually an adult fantasy. V.E. Schwab, she writes under two pen names or under two authors' names. So whenever she uses her full name, which is Victoria Schwab, means that it's a YA book, and then whenever she's using her initials, so V.E. Schwab, that is an adult book. So this book is set in a world where we have four overlapping Londons. They kind of layered on top of each other. So we have Black London, White London, Red London and Grey London. And the main difference between them is the level of magic. Grey London is kind of like our own London, a real world London. So people don't have any magic, they don't know that the magic exists, and they just live their lives. Without knowing about magic. Then we have Red London, in which there is magic. Some people are able to control it, some people are not able to control it, but magic is a present thing. Then we have White London, in which people fight over the control and the remaining bits of magic, but the magic fights back as well. And then we have Black London, which doesn't exist anymore. The magic in the Black London used to be very strong, and because of that it took kind of control over the people and destroyed the whole city of Black London. So we are set in that world where we have the four overlapping Londons. The magic that people use in this world is an elemental magic. People are able to control either one or all of the basic elements, which is fire, water, air, earth and bone. So there are 5 of them, the basic ones. And we also have blood element, controlling which is an extremely rare ability. We follow Kel, who is one of the 2 known blood magicians, so people who can control the blood magic. And what is special about that is that they are able to travel from one London to another, what none of other people are able to do. Kel is kind of a messenger between all the Londons, so he's going from one place to another carrying messages from kings and queens. So that's his kind of main job. And then on the side he's also a swindler. He takes items from different Londons back to his own Red London, and then he sells it on black market. This is obviously illegal because we don't know how magic reacts in different Londons. So the story starts as Kel swindles something back to his home London that he was not supposed to, and then he has to face the consequences of that action. And then on the other hand we have Lila, who is based in the Grey London, so the one without magic. She is living on the streets. She's a famous robber and she steals very valuable things from the rich in order to make ends meet. The setup of the story is amazing. I think the idea of having these 4 different Londons with different level of magic and the way how they interact with each other, this is such an interesting idea. First of all, I wanted to talk about the characters because I think the characters in here are really great. I think Kel and Lila, obviously they meet eventually and they have such a great chemistry between each other. Lila, obviously living on the street, she's very untrustworthy, but she also is really quick-witted and she's really hilarious, and I think watching the 2 interact is really interesting. What I really liked in here was that there was no really connotation of romance. When the romance overtakes a story, that's what I don't like. In here, they kind of, obviously, they start off as enemies and then they kind of start learning to trust each other and kind of becoming friends. I like them a lot more as enemies rather than friends. Perhaps it's because the whole transition between being wary and kind of untrusty towards each other and to full trust and full kind of, not even affection, but like likeliness of each other. I think that was done really fast because the whole story, it spans only across maybe 2 days or so. So this transition, it was extremely fast, and that's not something that I really enjoyed, but I still think that the characters and the way they were created were really good. I think the story itself, plot-wise, it was lacking a bit. You know, it just felt like I knew from the start to finish what's gonna happen. At no point I was surprised or shocked or unsure how the rest of the story is gonna go. So I think plot-wise it was not such a great read, just because it was like a lot of other books out there. There's no much originality in there, and especially in the course of action we kind of knew from start to finish how it's gonna go. So plot-wise it wasn't the greatest, but still it wasn't bad. You know, it was one of those stories that you kind of know what's gonna happen in the end, and you kind of know what obstacles and what steps they're gonna have to do and take to get to where they have to go, and it just didn't feel really original. I was really interested in the story and still quite invested in the characters, so that was really good. My main issue with this book was that it had so much potential. It had the idea behind the 4 different Londons, and then Kel wearing that 7-sided coat that just completely changes all the time, that you can turn it around and around, and it has so many different pockets, so many different sides. It was so interesting, and I wanted to learn more about the world and how it came to be and the rules of magic, and I think this is where the book fell short for me. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed how we learn about the different Londons, but I think the whole world building is done on the first maybe 50-70 pages of this book, and then we don't learn anything new. I did want to learn so much more about it, and I'm just really frustrated that we didn't get it. Obviously this is a series, so this is the first book in a series, so I am really very much hoping that we will get more of that backstory and more of explanation of how it works and all of these things in book 2 and book 3, but it's a first book in the series. You have to spend some more time on building the world rather than building the plot, and unfortunately that didn't really happen here, and I was so bummed. Overall, I think it was a solid book. I enjoyed my time with it. I really liked the banters between Kel and Lila, and I thought the idea was so great, but still it felt a little bit short for me, so I couldn't give it more than 3 out of 5 stars. Still, I'm very much looking forward to continuing with the story, and I'm gonna definitely read book 2 and book 3. Book 3 I actually have on my shelf already. I don't have book 2 on my shelf, so I'll have to order that. But man, I really hope that book 2 will expand on the world. I really hope book number 2 is not gonna disappoint me. Okay guys, so these are my thoughts about A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Let me know in the comments if you guys read the book as well and what were your thoughts about it, because I know that it is a very well loved book series here on BookTube. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for some more bookish content. Thank you very much for watching again, and I'll see you again with another video soon. Bye.